whatever. Yeah.
This episode of the Off-Road Podcast is sponsored by Colby Valve.
Off-Road Podcast, episode 452, Spartan Rope.
Tonight, Aaron finds the volume knob, Coy bites off more than he should chew, and Ben begins rebuilding his pile of parts.
Welcome to the Off-Road Podcast, a podcast about everything off-road. We cover the news, review products, and interview people in the off-road industry. Your hosts tonight are Aaron, Coy, and my name is Ben. And tonight we are joined by Nai Se-Chin from Spartan Ropes. And welcome to the show. And I said Spartan Ropes when it's Spartan Rope. I'm terrible.
It's all good. You're not the only one, Ben.
It just feels like it should be plural. I don't know why.
Because you always have more than one, right?
I try to.
Unless you're that guy.
Okay, Coy. Like I said right before we went live, I'm dying to know. You said you bit off more than you should chew. What are you doing? What's going on in your life right now?
Well, I went to the circus with my family. That's pretty cool. I thought circuses were lame now, but they're actually, this one was not too. They had elephants. There was people riding on bison, camels, the dudes in the, the big metal ball and the motorcycles driving upside down in circles. Had that, all the stuff. Dancing ladies, people flying through the air on ropes. The elephants were sad looking though, dude. I kind of felt sorry.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Them.
I do too.
They're rough. But my kids got to ride on them, so that was cool. No, my dumb decision, possibly more than I can chew. I was probably, if you listen to the podcast, know I used to do some autocross, quite a bit of it actually, and I have a MR2 Spider hanging out in my garage somewhere, and I keep saying I'm gonna start autocrossing again, and the years just tick by, and finally I just signed up for a track cross the other day, which kind of like an autocross. It's like you lap the racetrack, but it has like slaloms and stuff to keep you slowed down on the straight stretches. And I was like, you know what, I'm doing it. And I just signed up for it. And then I was talking to a buddy about it, and he was asking me all these questions about rules and stuff. I was like, well, man, I haven't done this in like 10 years. That's what it was when I quit doing it. And then I was like, man, maybe I should have signed up for something lower level, like in a parking lot before I just went straight to hot lapping tracks on a car I haven't raced ever. Bunch of modifications that I haven't tested out at all. Got like 4 other things I got to do to it before I get there. And so, I'm sure it's a perishable skill. I'm sure I've lost a ton of skill. Never raced this car before. And I'm going to make a bunch of modifications right before I race it, which is like cardinal rule of what you're not supposed to do. So it's last weekend of this month, Aaron. So I was thinking of the Friday night before I go.
Last weekend of March or April?
Sorry, last weekend of March. Wait,
that's
last weekend of April. Sorry, last weekend.
Okay,
of April. I'm a month away essentially.
Okay, all right.
But I like to save all the work for the night before the race. So if you want to show up that Friday night, so that we can like put on sway bars and really do a bunch of important stuff, and then eyeball an alignment, and then I can just load it on the trailer and go.
Yeah, let's do it.
So that's why I probably bit off more in my chew, because after I paid all the money for this, I was like, this might not have been the smartest thing that I could have done. But
all right. Well, the good news is all you got to do is just start tracking that car on the highway, the freeway, the cloverleaf on and off ramps. You can dial it in pretty good. Just get her out there.
Plan to. I need to put insurance back on it before I start doing that.
Oh, probably.
Probably. It's a good idea. I mean, I don't have to, but I feel like it'd be a good idea. And then I got the royal treatment from Aaron this weekend. Showed up to his daughter's birthday party. He had an ice cold tall boy Dr. Pepper waiting for me, which I was like, oh, be still my heart. And then he's like, hey, that's not all. He pulls out a Fritos cheese dip can, and I just, the plot moistened.
I really know how to treat a guy. Ben,
He
you
does.
come down. Come down, Ben. I'll get you your favorite treats too.
Leave Washington? Oh no, how could I ever do that?
Are you out of Washington too, Ben?
Yeah, I'm just east of Tacoma.
Oh, okay. I'm in East Vancouver, so maybe an hour and a half away.
Yeah, you're not too far away from Phil, right?
Yeah, really close actually.
I'm sorry. It's not so easy.
You are right. I'm sorry for myself as well.
We like Phil.
Has he been on the show yet?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think he's actually been on the show yet. He's been to events and stuff, and we've talked about him, but
I'm in some group chats with him.
Okay.
We make fun of people together sometimes.
He calls me from time to time.
Nice.
Aaron, what about you? I see exhaust work in your explanation. I need to know.
I should have uploaded that photo. I'm gonna do a very poor man photo upload here right now. I've got one of my friends is actually working on the truck. Boy, that's going to be a terrible photo, but he just sent me a text like a half hour ago. He's welding the muffler on for me as we speak, putting a nice turn down tip on it.
So it stops falling off.
There we go. Yeah, so it stops falling off. He's got some exhaust hangers showing up in the morning. So I'm excited.
No more baling wire. We're proud of you, Aaron.
Yeah, you can actually see the baling wire in that one photo.
Yeah, you could.
I dropped it off at his house last night, and he drove it into work this morning, which is only like 4 blocks away for him. But his wife was apparently outside on the sidewalk when he fired my truck up, and he said he scared the crap out of his wife. It made me so happy. That truck is so loud when it's just open headers. So, yeah. So, so that's getting done. And then I can start doing some more stuff when I get that back. And then I did some work out in the shop this weekend and actually after work today. Let's find that picture. There we go. So these two sections of wall, if you don't remember, I put up 3/4 inch birch plywood. It's a very finished, like cabinet grade of plywood, super nice plywood. I put a coating of polyurethane on them, and then I was able to get my lower cabinets slid into place. And then I screwed the uppers on, and I have one that I didn't get screwed on in this photo, but I got that up there today. And then that one that isn't up there, that shorter section, the one on the left, I got that screwed to the wall, the lower cabinets, and I got the top for it cut to size. So that's 1.5 inch plywood going on the tops of them, and then I'll polyurethane that as well to make it look nice. So Eric says, what temperature is it on the thermometers? It was 51 degrees in there. So
toasty.
Not too bad. I mean, that's a great working temperature when you're out moving around, shucking and jiving. 51's a good temperature.
Yeah, I that's what I got it up to in here when I was working in here, and it was nice being able to not need a hoodie or anything.
Yeah. So working on the shop, I'm super excited. I'm getting some good headway done on that. Like Coy mentioned, we had birthday party for my daughter on Saturday, and what that means is that I'm done printing stuff for her birthday party for party favors. I printed all these dragons and dragon eggs for her to hand out. So now I'm printing fun stuff for our audio listeners. I'm holding up a magazine rack. It's holding up a Car and Driver, Peterson's Off-Road magazine, and a Motor Trend magazine. They're 30 round magazines. I like to read magazines, so yeah, I got a cool magazine holder that I printed. This one is I'm going to hold up. This is for the smaller magazines. So I printing some of that fun stuff. Having a good time doing that.
AR-10 tire deflator holder. Ad day.
Yes. Yeah.
Aaron, I'm a fan of those type of magazines too.
Yeah, absolutely. Montana Dirt Road says the 30-page magazines. Yes, that's it. The 30-page magazines. So Leroy Engineering's in the comments. He said he's putting in some low range gears while he's watching. I'm curious what you're putting those in. Plow Guy Dave says, don't forget to like the video. So yeah, all you guys watching, don't forget to like the video. He also says he likes it cold as well when he's working. So that's about it for me. How about you, Ben? What have you been up to?
Well, so I did all that work and I got rid of like the skid plates. I got stuff installed and I ran out of like stuff to install. So I decided to buy more stuff to install. So I found some coilovers for the 4Runner used. I got some Icon 2.5s for a pretty decent deal. Not sure I'll get them done before I take off for Montana for Easter, but
you're gonna have them rebuilt before you install them, or just send it?
I don't know. He didn't have them on for too long, but he was search and rescue, so I'm like, maybe I should just send it or not send it and just rebuild them beforehand.
We all know you're just gonna send it, Ben.
I'm probably just gonna send it, honestly.
Just bolt them up.
I'm probably just gonna send it, and then I'm gonna keep the ones I have on hand for when it's time to rebuild them. I'm gonna clean them up before I put them in. That way, what? Don't bother.
They're gonna get dirty. Put them on.
But any residue that's on there, dirt that's on there, that could cause a leak. It might last me a couple extra miles. 1 or 2 is better than
put them on. Spray them with a hose.
And call it good.
Oh, okay.
Send it, huh?
Leroy Engineering sent me a picture of the low range gears he's installing, and I'm going to do the hold the phone up to the screen thing again. He's working on an RC car. So I was wondering, because he didn't say anything to me about buying gears for his Nissan. So
he was just asking us about those RC cars, and he's already modifying the daylight.
Yeah, that did not take long at all.
I was gonna give him the speech for like, hey, these RC cars are great, but when you start modifying them, stuff starts breaking. So I guess you got to work on those more than you do real off-road rigs.
And then Montana dirt roads. Talking some more. I talked to him about my trip up in June. A little bit about some places to go. I'm kind of plotting out the path for what I'm going to do. So yeah, I'm kind of stoked for that. Other than that, it's just been work and family stuff. So you know how that goes. No listener feedback this week, huh?
Hold up. You didn't ask Nye what he's been up to in the off-road world.
Nye. What's been up in the off-road world with you, man? I'm terrible. Rude. Terribly rude.
So I've been slowly gathering parts to build I have a GX 460. It's like a 2014. It's been stocked for the longest time. So
460 instead of 470?
Yeah, 460. Yeah.
That's so for the non-Lexus guys, that's like a Land Cruiser, right?
Land Cruiser Prado. I mean, yeah.
It's kind of like in between, a little bit bigger.
Right.
I like 460s.
So I got that last year, and I've been slowly gathering parts to build it. I got King 2.5 coilover suspension. I got Total Chaos loader control arms. I just had a whole bunch of work done to it actually in Seattle. So shout out to Twan over at Integrated Metalworks. He custom fabricated a rear swing out for me. Did the cam tab gussets, spindle gussets. A whole bunch of work, right? I got a roof rack on it. I got a stripper roof rack. Alpha Rex headlights. So pretty much all the things I don't need before I lift it. And I've kind of had these parts sitting there, but I got new OEM axles. I've got a new Koyo hub and bearing, combo kit that I'm going to be throwing on. So basically I want to refresh the whole suspension when I'm going to do it. Because in my experience, at least the last few rigs that I've built, as soon as you lift it, ball joints go out, axles start leaking. You know how it is. It's like upper control. Like you just got to do it all at once. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be patient this time. I'm going to do it all at once. So yeah, I've got parts I've been doing, and I finally got my wheels back from OMF Performance. So they custom B-locked a set of Ray's TE37 XTs for me. So I got the Mickey Thompson tires, and I saw that you maybe asking me a tire question, so we'll definitely give you some feedback there. But I've been working on mounting the wheels onto the tires, and yeah, I've got 3 out of 5 done. So I'm just kind of doing it, at night when I have time. I got a couple kids, so I actually time myself early. And it takes me about 35 minutes to do each wheel mounting onto the tire with the B locks, TPMS, and all that torque to spec. It's about 35 minutes for me. So
Are the tires you're putting on, are they new tires?
the brand new tires, yeah.
I know it's frustrating, but like I don't know what it is about new tires, man. You know how they always talk about, there's all these TikTok videos about how often guys think about Rome. That's tire for me. It's tires. Like if you just, hey, how many times a week do you think about new tires? I like 47. I don't know, maybe more. I constantly I smell something. I'm like, that smells like new tires.
Well, everyone that knows me knows that I go through a set of new tires and new wheels and vehicles like a set of underwear. So, I mean, pretty often. But I plan on keeping these for a while, and so yeah. I mean, I've literally this week just been doing all that, prepping it. I'm gonna get the lift on it on Friday, so looking forward to it. It's been stocked for the longest time, so.
We see you got the OTT tune. What did you go with? Did you go spicy?
No, I'm gonna blame this on Cole, and hopefully he's watching. But he had told me to go with like a medium, and then if I didn't like it, go higher. And I was like, yeah, you're right. That's probably a good idea. I may hit him up and go spicy. I think so. We'll see. Depends on how it
Do you
feels
not
after I lift it.
Do you not have the ECT button or whatever that button is?
I don't have that on the GX460 that I know of. At least I don't remember
Okay.
that button. Yeah, I had it on my 3rd-gen Forerunner.
He was
So.
talking about how he can load 2 tunes if you had a button or a something to attach that tune to. So
Yeah, I don't think I have that button on the GX.
okay.
Yeah.
Bummer.
The Pete's Tundra has the tow haul button, and he has so regular, and then you push the button and it's spicy, and he gets in trouble with his wife for putting in spicy mode too much.
I really hope someday Pete trades in his Tundra without letting anybody know about a new tune. Some random old guy buys that Tundra, is like tow haul mode. Holy crap! It's all burning out and stuff,
That'd be amazing.
It'd be fun just to go do it to a rig before it gets sold and, see what happens.
Good night.
Yeah, I've got spicy, and there's a part of me that's contemplating extra spicy.
my buddy Mark, he's like, you probably shouldn't do spicy or spicy because I haven't driven it actually off road or actually wheeling yet because it's stock right now. I've taken it hunting off road, but that's not really wheeling, So, but he says that if you go too sensitive when you're off road, it's going to be too sensitive, right? So I haven't actually.
You said you're going 35s though, right?
I'm going 35s, yeah.
Yeah, drive it with 35s for a little bit, and you'll probably decide to go a little spicier.
Okay.
I'm on 33s on my Forerunner, and it's a V6. It's just like I want that extra oomph.
What do you have, a 3rd-gen, 4th-gen, and what do you have? 1st-gen? What do you got?
4th gen.
Okay, I had one of those too. So.
This is so awesome. All right, we won't tell anybody because I'm sure the rental car company won't watch this podcast, but he says he may or may not have tuned a rental car before.
Oh my goodness.
Awesome.
Now I would do that to every rental car I ever owned, and I would put it on full spicy, max
spiciest, yeah,
everything to the max. That would be.
Wow, I really like this. I want one of these. Why is then they go out and buy one? And it's like, man, this thing's sluggish. I like that other one I had.
For years when I was young, luckily they have that you can't rent a car until you're like 23 or something. For years when we were younger, we wanted to rent like a Ford Focus and just right behind the filter run a dry nitrous kit into it, buy the extra insurance, and just smash nitrous into it, then return it, put tape over the hole, But never could rent a car, so we never got around to doing that.
But you only have to be 18 to rent a U-Haul for all the listeners listening. I know a guy who did that. All right, Ben, pick us back up where you left off.
All right, yeah. Listener feedback, we got none. So remember 605 spotter, but we had that feedback last week. Coy, you weren't here. So you need to tell us a detail about your rig.
One random detail.
The driver is better than he sounds, but faster than he looks. So that's one detail about my rig. Fatter than I sound, faster than I look.
And you drive the FJ Cruiser, correct?
Trail Teams 2010 FJ Cruiser, yes.
And then I just want to mention real quick, we did an episode all about us. It was episode 400. We're on episode 452. So exactly a year ago, episode 400 was all about us. So maybe sometime this summer we'll do another one. We can try to go a little more in tuned, tell everybody if the cup holders match the carpet, if you know what I mean. So BGT 595 says, how much of a Titan is Aaron's Frontier? There's a lot of Titan. Most of the drivetrain, front diff, the engine,
the frame.
No, not the frame. And then I've got
frame,
the full Titan. It is similar, yep. Titan suspension. I also have a Titan fuel tank I'd like to put in, but I've not gotten around to it yet. So yeah, I've got a lot of Titan on my Frontier. So thanks for asking. We also want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Patch. Head over to patriotpatch.co and check out their selection of great patches, shirts, cleaning mats, signs, and stickers. You can also join the Patch of the Month Club for $15 and receive a patch, matching sticker, and artist proof each month.
Aaron, have you seen upcoming month's Patch of the Month?
Mm-mm.
Me neither. I'm curious. We know it's Easter themed, right?
We're close. Yeah, we're close.
That was a great build up, Ben. Great build up.
Yeah, I was expecting him to be like, but I have.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's his boyfriend's. Well, his other boyfriend.
Such a good pod.
Yep.
But it's going to be Easter themed. That's our lead up to that. So
yes, it will be Easter themed.
And then let's not forget, we've got our patches, $13 shipped from us here. $13 for the first one, shipped in the continental United States, $10 for any additional, or $10 each picked up from us in person. Shoot us a message through any of our channels and we can hook you up with that PayPal link.
Have tire troubles ever left you deflated? Colby Valve has got you covered. Ever have a valve stem leak? Colby Valve makes reusable and easily replaceable valve stems that don't require you to remove your tire from the wheel. They work with your off-road rig, ATV, side-by-side, commuter vehicle, or even your tractor. Never be left stranded again because of a busted valve stem. They also have a tire repair kit for those punctures that keep you away from doing your favorite thing, wheeling. Make sure to check out colbyvalve.com or ask for them at your local off-road products store.
You're up, Coy.
Oh, sorry. I'm just what's happening? All right, guys. This article is brought by Motor One, the EJS concept vehicles. The Jeep Gladiator Rubicon high top concept. You won't find any restaurants from Jeep this year, but the Gladiator Rubicon.
What? Restaurants?
That's what you guys typed in here.
Yeah, that's what they have on the article. They have the pizza.
It's a resto mod. Oh my goodness!
Oh, wow, that definitely got.
That makes more sense now. I was wondering what I missed out on here. I assumed the Jeep had like a food truck there last year or something.
I thought they had a pizza truck last year, but yeah, it's supposed to be resto mods.
Anyways, you won't find any resto mods from Jeep this year, but the Gladiator Rubicon high top concept certainly pulls on our 1970s heartstrings. Wearing a metallic two-tone ginger snap exterior finish, has flat fender flares and a modified front bumper from American Expedition Vehicles. This makes room for 40-inch all-terrain tires, turned by Dana 60 axles, and there's an adjustable air suspension system in there too. The 3.6-liter V6 and an 8-speed automatic are stock. Inside the interior gets a leather makeover, and all the bed features lockable storage compartments. All in all, it's a relatively minor build, but it could be the best-looking concept of the bunch. Can you really call that a concept? Like, it's just a build.
Yeah, it's a build, not a concept.
Like, I
don't like that bumper
myself.
It's a letdown is what it is.
No, that said, I love the color choices they went there with that kind of burnt orange and dark brown.
Yeah,
it reminds me of like a Comanche or a Scrambler, being that color scheme back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
That bumper's just weird. I feel like it throws it off.
I do like the light bar they've got underneath it. That's a good spot for a light bar.
That bumper reminds me of like snowplow bumpers where the lights stick out over the plow. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yep.
It's got something going on. I like those tires though. Those are those new BFGs.
We're going to talk about those in the next news story. Yeah, those are the KO3s.
Okay.
How'd they get their hands on those in a 40?
Yeah. The next one's the Jeep Lowdown concept. A lowrider at Moab doesn't make sense, but in this instance, lowdown doesn't mean a slam suspension. In fact, this Wrangler maintains its factory stock ride height with 42-inch mud terrain tires squeezed under there. Jeep says to help keep its center of gravity low, but the wheel tire combo needs special high clearance carbon fiber or carbon fender flares to make it work. And it's based on the Rubicon 392, which means it's a stock 6.4 Hemi V8 under the hood, making 470 horsepower. Custom clear hood lets you see the Hemi beneath it. Though onlookers might be blindsided by its poison apple red paint job. The interior gets custom black leather seats, and it's shielded by a bespoke red bikini top. Oh, it's probably supposed to be best top. And to make sure and not forget what's under the hood, that 392, the decals are prominent on the fenders and on the dash, and the dash looks really weird in this one because I didn't see a radio in there.
The 2002 import scene called, and they want their hood back.
I don't know. I think that looks kind of cool.
I think it's pretty cool, considering it's got the 392 under the hood.
If any of you ever get a clear hood like that, anytime you're not around, I'm gonna reach up there and I'm gonna carry a bottle of oil just so I can just flick some oil on that and then close the hood and watch you search for an oil leak for years. It's gonna be amazing.
I think it is a bikini top. If you look at this picture, Ben, it's just the top portion. I think that's what the bikini top is, right?
Yeah, but it said bespoke. I think it meant best top.
You think it was bespoke is a term for
custom,
bespoke is a term for custom.
It's like
nice
one off.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
I like the low COG build. That's cool.
Yeah,
I do too. I've always been a fan of low center of gravity builds, and this one's on 42s, and it said stock ride height on 42s.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's impressive. There must not be a lot of up travel, but that's still pretty wild.
Then you can try and like, oh no, I barely did anything to it, honey. It's a stock ride height.
Yeah, I didn't have to invest in the suspension at all, just tires and fenders.
All right, and then they have the Jeep Willis Dispatch concept. Here, where things get very green, the Willis Dispatcher concept showcases. What's that?
We don't have any pictures of that one.
It's going to be a green Jeep. Like, come on. We've all seen it before. Showcases where Jeep started, where it's going, combining retro cues such as embossed Willis lettering on the hood and steel wheels with modern Wrangler 4xe powertrain. The 16-inch wheels are shod with 36-inch tires that, frankly, look rather modest in this lineup. There's a simple front bumper with a big old winch in there, and inside the seats have no headrest to further push the retro theme. However, the leather seats are far from what you'd find in classic post-war Jeep. You also wouldn't find the hybrid powertrain, which remains stock at 375 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque. There are Dana 50 axles and 470 gears for low speed capability, and there's no missing it in Moab thanks to the shade of Element 115 green applied to the exterior.
That's Tiffany blue, isn't it?
Not quite, but close.
I'm near colorblind, but there's nothing green about that.
Yeah.
No, that's green.
That kind of looks like the Tiffany Glocks you see, like aimed towards girls. Or not Glocks, but what is that? The LCP9?
The Tiffany's a blue. This is green.
I mean, that's supposed to be a throwback to military stuff.
It looks more like the old school Forest Service color.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that one is ugly, and I especially hate the wheels and tires. Ugh.
There's some Steelies.
It's too retro. It's just way too retro. I'm not enjoying it.
Honestly, when you're going one that's like your military or even Forest Service theme, whatever you're going with, to do the 4xe, well, shouldn't that one have the Hemi in it?
Yeah. The next is the Jeep Vacationeer concept. It's just as bright on its eyes as its Grand Wagoneer concept, painted spearmint and fitted with a pop-top tent for overlanding adventure. Jeep adds a touch of wood grain to the sides, an ode to the classic Wagoneer, and one that easily stands out with this pastel finish. Inside is a wash with plaid, at least the front seats, because the second and third rows are removed. This makes room for the Skyloft top, which is permanently mounted and accessible from within the Wagoneer. The suspension and powertrain are stock, though the 35-inch tires provide an extra inch and a half of ground clearance. Large wheel wells and custom fender flares make room for the tires, and skid plates help protect the undercarriage. I'm kind of just disappointed with the concepts.
I'm glad they've got that little aloe vera plant in a cup holder in there
for all their burn they're getting.
Yeah.
You know how the hipsters start doing beards and like plaid shirts and stuff? That's like the vibe I get from this. What we men call lumber sexual. Like it's very lumber sexual.
Montana Dirt Road says that screams I'm a cidiot.
Cidiot. I love when you combine two words with idiot. It's awesome. It always is a winner in my book.
Yeah. That picture smells like cigarettes.
Clove cigarettes, but yes.
Oh man! All right, let's jump in the next news article. Here is from Motor Trend, and it is titled, "Can the new BFG all-terrain TA KO3 top the KO2? An off-road tire legend." I don't know if it's an off-road tire legend, but they definitely sold a lot of them. So BFG has reimagined its flagship all-terrain tire. So say goodbye to the KO2 and hello to the new BFG TA KO3. Since the 1970s, BF Goodrich has offered an all-terrain tire tested in the torturous Baja 1000 off-road race. Previous tires in the lineup have included the Radial All-Terrain TA. TA stands for Terrain Assault. The Radial All-Terrain KO. The Radial All-Terrain KO2, and now the Radial All-Terrain KO3. I had no idea that Radial came before KO, or I should say before All-Terrain. So I had no idea that was part of the nomenclature. I've just always known it as the...
No idea that is TA stood for Terrain Assault.
I didn't know that either.
I figured it was terrain attack.
The KO3 comes nearly a decade after its predecessor, and much appears to be the same, like its ruggedness and reliability. The 3-peak mountain snowflake service rating, the general theme of the tread pattern, but what changes have been made to the legendary all-terrain rubber? First, while previous iterations of the all-terrain all-terrain, the tread pattern has been revised. Tread blocks appear to be positioned closer, which they really do. I'm feeling like this is less all-terrainy. Yeah, look at this picture right here. They look like they're 50% closer.
That's a side by side. The one on the left is the 03 and the one on the right is the 02.
Yeah. So the lugs are closer together than they were in the KO2. Also, the KO2 featured triangular, I would call them more like a pyramid, stone ejectors, in which you can see one almost smack dab in the center. The KO3 does not have those, but it does have the miniature lettering between alternating shoulder tread lugs, which whoop-de-doo, who cares about lettering? To address water evacuation from beneath the tire, the KO3 benefits from a larger water channel which extends farther across it. Tread blocks also show more interlocking full depth sipes, and the greater number of full depth sipes can contribute to the tire's handling in snowy conditions as well as its grip on rocks. So that's good. That's a good thing. It definitely does have more siping. It says the tire has not been released to the public yet, which I'm shocked to find that out, because in this photo right here, it's on a Toyota Tacoma. In this photo right here, it's on a Jeep at Easter Jeep Safari. So somehow somebody's getting their hands on them.
Marketing teams and people are getting them. Some people are getting
well, them. Tire Rack's selling them right now in a specific size. I think they sell a 285/70. And the local discount tire sold like a 34x11.5, I think, if I remember correctly.
Interesting.
So,
well,
certain manufacturers or distributors are selling them for sure.
It's going to be OE equipment on the 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor in a 285/70/17, which is a 33x11, and I'm disappointed to see that a Ranger Raptor is only coming on 33s. It's going to also be OEM equipment on the 2024 Chevy Silverado HD and the GMC Sierra HD in a 275/65/20, which is a 34x11. So it's going to be coming on some rigs standard. Sounds like you can buy it in some places, even though this article said it's not out yet. So this article is 6 days old. So maybe they were just a little behind when they published that article for Motor Trend. So there you go. Go out there, rush to the stores now, get your tires.
So
you can be the first to have the new awesome ones.
Going off that, so do you think they're going to be any better or any worse? I think the water channels will be nice, considering that's where they've underperformed.
Pop that picture up again of the two tires. Let's Go Hunt just sent me a message that says all I can see on the new one are little boots everywhere, and it is totally interlocking rubber boots.
Oh.
I'll never not see that again.
There we go. I was going to say that I feel like with them introducing this tire and making it look more streetable and more wintry, that maybe they're going to introduce a hybrid tire in between it and the KM. Maybe they dialed it back from its aggressive all-terrain so that they can slip another one in the middle. I don't know. That's just a wild guess, but that was my very first thought when I saw that tread pattern.
Same here, Aaron. I think they're going to introduce an RT tire like everybody's doing, right? Toyo, Falcon. I mean,
yeah,
everyone's doing RT tires. So I think that's why they probably made it. Because why else would you make it closer? Because everyone's going wider, more of a hybrid style. So
every single RT tire I see looks more all-terrain than the all-terrain they make, though. Like, have you noticed that? I don't know. They just don't look. they just look like an all-terrain with big tread blocks instead of little ones. There's still no gap between the treads, like a mud terrain, you know. I don't know. I'm sure with all the BFG fanboys out there, they're just gonna sell like crazy. And they have those sweet little V chevrons on the sidewall, which look super off-roady.
All my off-road friends know that I do not like KO2s because I had bad experiences. But it's just because they were like hydroplane heaven for me. Like they hydroplaned everywhere.
That I've heard, like in the Northwest in particular, the KO2s tend to hydroplane a lot more than the other all-terrain tires that are out there, which is why I think like the Falcon Wild Peaks are a more popular tire because they tend not to.
Sorry for all you BFG lovers. It's just my opinion.
Delete him now off the show. I was a BFG fanboy. I'm trying to branch out and try other tires. I had really good luck with the KM2s and the KM3s. I also bought some KO2s. They wore out really fast for me, but it might be because of the I bought too soft of a tire. Like I think I might have ended up with a load range C instead of a load range E. So
I had the same experience here, and I had a load range E on my 3rd Gen 4Runner, and it wore out faster than other tires. It's probably just a softer compound. That's probably why.
Yeah. All right, let's kick off this main topic.
All right, let's do it. All right, Nye. Let's we're gonna burn through the fast 5 facts real quick. You just spit out the first answer that comes to your head. New or old vehicle?
Old vehicle. Depends how old I guess you're talking about.
All the cool mid-90s stuff that doesn't feel old to you is actually old, just so we're clear.
Okay. I mean, I like both, so I guess if I had to choose one, I would choose 2000s type vehicles, like 2010s. Yeah. So
I think that's new.
I'll
think
that's considered new, I guess. Yeah.
I feel like that's new, but that's 14 years ago.
I know. It's terrible.
And honestly, the reason why is just my experience. Like when I had my 3rd Gen 4Runner, like just some of the 90s vehicles, the sunroof would leak. Like I couldn't find a part because it's like obsolete, right? It's like discontinued, so I'd have to go to the junkyard or eBay or wherever else, right? Copart to find a part.
That's the charm. It's like that girlfriend with a little bit of mental health issues. Like it's not that good, but
I remember when I had my 3rd Gen, I had the roof taped up for like 4 months during the rainy season because I just couldn't find the part, and I was like, this is one reason why I hate older cars, but I totally get the charm part, I guess, too. So
all right, summer or winter camping?
I'm more of a summer camper. As much as I don't mind putting 90 miles in boots on the ground while I'm hunting all winter, getting rain, slow, sneed on. If I'm camping, I would prefer the summer for sure.
Fair enough. Rock, sand, snow, or mud?
I would say snow and sand. I just love the ability to just air down really low, feel like you're going fast and you're not going fast, and it just screams like, to me, that's like big on me. So I mean, I've done some rocks though. I haven't done some crazy stuff, but I do notice when I do rocks, every single time I do get chunks out of my tires, so it's just part of the game. I would guess so.
All right. Favorite vehicle brand?
Toyota, Lexus, Toyota.
Favorite tire?
I'm gonna go with the Mickey Thompsons, and that's why I bought it for my recent set. I'm a big fan.
That is a first. I just gotta say that's a first on the show. That is a first on the show.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not a BFG KO. I haven't tried a KM, so I can't hate on BFG for like the mud terrain. But I've had Toyo mud terrains. I've had Falcon mud terrains. I've had I have the Mickey Thompson's Baja Boss mud terrain right now. I have some buddies. I've had Kendas. I don't know. I'm just a big fan of the Mickey Thompsons. I like how aggressive the side biters look, the 3-ply sidewall, and they come in a low D range. To me, like that's perfect because the C range is a little bit too light for my vehicle. The D range is perfect. So I mean, it meets
Love the
all of
D.
my needs. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good to know. I didn't know they made a D range. I've only ever seen C's and E's. So I usually go with the E range because I am an overlander. So I bring a lot of stuff camping. Badland Industry says that his Baja bosses did awesome at Sand Hollow last weekend or last week. 10 PSI all weekend, sand, rocks, and highway. So there we go.
Yeah, I haven't tried their MT, but I had their Baja Boss All-Terrain, which is their hybrid, and it just did really well for me. So I actually have a lot of friends that are running it now too because I ran it first.
They make that one in a 35 narrow as well.
Oh, they do. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's like a 255/85 17 or something like that.
I don't remember what the metric nomenclature is on it, but it's
essentially skinnies, yeah.
Skinny 35.
Okay. All right, one more, Coy. One more on the Fast Five.
That's still on me. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. Any recommendations for someone new to off-roading?
My recommendation is you can never be, I mean, just preparation, right? Be extra prepared. If I had to give one recommendation, it'd be when you're off-road, try to have a buddy. If you don't have a buddy, have a way to communicate via satellite. So get a Garmin InReach or some of those other devices where you can pay a subscription. You don't have to pay it all year if you don't use it all year, but I personally have one using my vehicle around September till like around May or June, because you just never know when you're going to need it. So I was talking to one of my influencers. He was saying they had a rig of like I think 5-10 cars. I'm not going to call his name out and give him a hard time, but none of them had a way to communicate via satellite. So I think he said in the snow it was supposed to be a day trip, and they didn't get home till early in the morning because they had to walk like 5 miles or whatever down the trail. So that just just an extra reminder, like yeah, definitely you want to have like a Garmin InReach or some way to communicate via satellite text message, and also just for emergencies, right? You roll your car, you guys can't have
You
cell
said
service.
this guy had 5 vehicles with him?
I think they had a group of like 5 vehicles, and
Bro, I would not make fun of him for the satellite. I would make fun of him for all 5 vehicles not being able to drive out.
I mean, they all got stuck in the ice. They were telling me, so I totally understand, right? It
Doesn't matter.
Right?
Doesn't matter. I'm gonna rail on 5 vehicles all stuck.
So
I'm curious. Like, did any of them have ham licenses? Can they? I know, like our buddy Aaron Kravik, he's got he can email through his ham with. I mean, he's got some extra stuff.
He said influencers, not nerds.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Influencers.
I mean, they do quite a bit of wheeling too, so it's not like they're totally new, but it's just one of those things. Like, I'm not there, but I can say like, at least if they had some way of communication, or they were all stuck, they can at least contact someone to go help them, right? And
yeah,
can get help. So.
But would you though, if all 5 of you and your buddies got stuck, would you message someone and it'd be like, "Hey, we're all got stuck"? It'd be tough for me to admit that.
That, or they could be like, "Hey, I'm not going if you're all stuck. I'm gonna get stuck," right? So, who knows? But yeah, I think just overall preparation, right? Have an extra spare tie rod, have a spare CV axle, make sure your batteries are charged, have a way to air up your tires. There's just a lot of things you can prepare for. First aid kit, right? I just feel like for me, I'm the over preparer, so I wouldn't say I'm a prepper, but I'm kind of a hybrid prepper. So I've got things, and I've got tools, and I've got all these other things that I just either that or I'm a pack rat. I just pack everything, So.
Yeah, I'm very guilty of that.
I'd rather have it than not have it and regret it later on, I guess. So.
Yep. So let's talk about you some more. How did you get started in off-roading?
Yeah, so as you can tell, I've always been an outdoorsman. So hunting, fishing, When I was younger, like I talked to Coy about, I was just really into imports, right? I mean, Civics, Integras, TSX, Lexus sedans, those type of things. But I had no way of going outside myself, so I'd have to always go with my family, my friends, or my uncle. And I'm like, you know what? I need to get an off-road vehicle. So first rig that I bought was a '98 third gen Toyota 4Runner. It was a limited with the e-locker. I think I had that for like 6 months, got totaled, and had like all the suspension parts and parts for it. I was like, I'm going to buy another one. So I bought a '99. It had the factory e-locker on that as well. And just started using that to go outside, go outdoors. Got bored of that. And like I told you guys earlier, like I change vehicles and tires and stuff like that all the time because I get bored. And then I got a fourth gen 4Runner similar to Ben, and then started
I
fully
bet yours
building
was
that.
nicer.
So.
Ouch.
I mean, there's no questioning that, Coy. Come on.
Well, I was a safe. Like I said, I bet.
And then Phil and I and a whole bunch of guys just got together, built like a fourth gen 4Runner group. And I think Nick was making comments earlier about like tunes on rentals, like he's part of the group. And we all just kind of went wheeling, right? Went outside, enjoyed each other's company, wheeled at various places, sand, mud, snow. I mean, that's kind of how I got into it.
Nice. What was the very first vehicle you took off road?
It was that '98 4Runner, third gen 4Runner.
What is your favorite rig to hit the trail in?
I only have one rig right now, but I would say the fourth gen 4Runner that I had was my favorite rig. I mean, I had it re-geared, I had an ARB air locker, lifted. It was pretty much, pretty dang modified, I would say, outside of a handful of items. But like I said earlier, I always get bored, so I sold that in the height of the pandemic when prices were crazy. Had someone from Los Angeles fly down, gave me a cashier's check, and I shipped it out a few days later. It was the easiest car sale of my life. So I just wanted to start with something fresh. I know I needed a truck, so I bought a new third gen Tacoma. All these parts for it, didn't like it, and sold that as well. So now I have a Lexus GX.
You'll probably be happy with that one for a while.
Yeah, I feel like it's got certain creature comforts, but also not like too advanced in tech.
So we all have them. What's your most embarrassing moment on the trail?
He got stuck with 4 other guys without having a satellite communicator. He didn't tell anybody that he was on that trip.
Well, I think the last time I actually went wheeling was with the group of those fourth gen guys, and we were going up Silver Star, up Washougal, and there was some decent snow. I was only aired down to about, I think, around 10 psi, but I was going up, hit this a little bit of an embankment, and I debeated 2 tires, so 2 wheels, and I was like, man, like not one but 2, and kind of slid down a little bit. So that was probably, I would say, my most embarrassing moment. But it was fun, learning experience, over preparedness. So I had the lighter fluid, I had Kobe valves, I had all the extra stuff in case something broke. High lift jack, and we were able to get out of there. I think we got it all done in an hour or so. Thanks to a lot of my buddies there. And I told myself, I'm not gonna do that again. I am not debeating tires anymore. So I got B locks now because I don't want to do that again.
That's wild that you debeated him at 10 psi.
Mm-hmm.
And
it wasn't going super fast, so I was like, it's weird.
What kind of wheels were you running?
I was running SES. I think they're F5 wheels, or they're Gen 5s, one of those. But this is prior to SES having, like, now SES, I think they put knurls on the actual bead area. This is like their first generation wheel where they didn't have any of that technology. So
Whiskey throttle.
I debeated 2 tires not too far from where you're talking about. I was at the south end of Gifford Pinchot, and I was in the snow, but I put both of those tires into like a V notch where like a water had flowed down the trail, and I had 2 tires in there driving sideways, and it just kind of pinched the beads on both of them. But I was at like 4 psi.
Okay.
So that's the only time I've ever debeated. I've gotten pretty lucky otherwise, I guess.
Yeah. So hopefully that won't happen again. But
Yeah. Well, do you have a biggest win on the trail?
I wouldn't say I've been through some really like crazy trails, so I wouldn't say I have a biggest win. But hopefully in the future I'll get to go to Moab sooner than later and go to some of those fun trails, and maybe I can have a bigger conversation then.
Just telling you, just let your family know that you're going out for milk on like September 8th and show back up like the 15th.
That's when you're going, right, Coy?
Yeah.
I'm going for milk. Yeah.
All right.
Time zone,
He hasn't
as well.
checked with his wife yet, but he's pretty sure he's going to need milk on that day.
Yeah. All right. Where is your favorite place to wheel?
I think Browns Camp's pretty fun. Going through Happy Meal and just Fire Break and those trails. I mean, it's all pretty fun. I mean, I've been there probably like, I don't know, 5, 6 times now, and I just never had a bad time going. It's always been fun. So I did last time I was going through those Brown Camp area, I went through these trees and I did forget. I guess this was kind of embarrassing, but not. I had cracked one of my side mirrors because I thought that folding me in was going to be good enough, and it wasn't. So
Uh-oh.
apparently, the fourth Gen 4Runner was a little too thick.
I've broke a mirror out of Browns Camp also.
Hey, we broke a mirror at Browns Camp together. We've already DB'd 2 tires around the same area.
I know.
Man.
It's like
We got a lot in common, man.
Why don't you guys get married
we do.
already?
Oh, man.
I thought it was Tahuya where you broke your mirror
Um,
on the LMTV, right?
no, I think it was Browns Camp.
Have you rear-ended a Jeep at Browns Camp before?
Yes. Oh, you're talking to him.
I know.
I'm
Aware that you have.
I have not, but I mean that would have been 3 strikes, and yeah, I don't know, I've been kind of crazy, but no, I have not.
Yeah.
So, is there any places you want to go that you haven't gone to? Obviously, Moab's on that list, right?
Yeah, I definitely want to go to Moab. I definitely want to go to some of the trails in California. And I mean, it's not really a trail, but I haven't been to the Alvaro Desert either, right? I mean, like I just gotta explore more. So I blame it on my kids. Like that's my excuses. So
You just drag them with you,
Yeah, take them with you.
especially the Alvord.
I blame. I mean, I take my kids with me, but then I blame the trip being ruined on them. So it's it's like one or the other.
So when you take them to the Alvord, just say we're going to go get milkshakes because
good
there's
idea,
a milk place shop. Where is that? Just there before the Alvord.
Field Station. Yeah,
Fields.
there are some
Fields.
amazing milkshakes
Yeah.
there.
So you're going for milkshakes, and oh no, we ended up in the desert. You know.
I definitely want to go to the Rubicon. That's one that's on my list too, for sure. So,
The list
pretty
never
much where everybody wants to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can start tagging along with us. We're gonna do some more exploring. Like Coy says, we're going to Moab in September. I'm definitely gonna try to get out this summer to some other places before going to Moab. But yeah, we'll hit you up.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, let's jump into Spartan rope since we're only an hour into the podcast. You know, just a quick intro there. Tell us how you got started, owning it, running it. What's it all about?
Yeah, so I actually have a buddy that's local to me. I think I've told this story more than once already, so some of you listeners probably already know this, but essentially I was at Fred Meyer's, a local Fred Meyer's. I was flipping through Instagram and I saw that my rig was on there, and we had some guy was like, "Hey, we've got the same wheels," and it was Stealth Custom Series that reposted it, and then ended up being friends with Bobby because we were a mile down the road. He's helping with my rig, and just got to know each other, and we were pretty cool. And then he eventually told me that that him and a friend of his ran Spartan rope, and I was like, well, okay, like when can I get a rope? Because I didn't have a kinetic rope at the time. So I'm pestering him like once every couple months, and I think it got down to after almost a year. I called him. I was like, "Hey, like when are you getting stock of those ropes? Because I need a kinetic rope." And he was like, and I've been telling him that I've always wanted to do something, right? Like have another side hustle or get in the off-road industry or just part of something in the automotive world. Um, and his first thing out of his mouth was like, "Do you want to buy it?" And I was like, "Okay, well, let's talk." And I think we just kept communicating, kept talking, and him and his other friend Zach, which Coy, your buddy, is with, we eventually just got together and we kind of talked about like what that would look like. So I think during COVID, right, it was just more of like just difficult to grow and things like that. And I've always wanted to do something else, try something else. So it was a perfect opportunity for me to get into it and not have to invest tons of money. And that's kind of how it all got started. I've taken it over. I think we're on year 3 now. I've been listening to like my users, right? R&D, just developing and just making everything that I have better. So I no longer offer the Gen 1 ropes that were made before. I had manufacturers and I was testing quite a few different ones. So the ropes that we have now are better. I mean, they have dipped eyes, they have the sleeves around the eyes as well. I've got a Gen 3 coming up. And then just talking to like some of the customers, they're like, "Hey, like it'd be great if you offered a USA made option." And I was like, "Well, I don't mind offering a USA made option, but it has to be better, right? So what's going to be different?" So I was doing research, looking for a manufacturer, and found one and started offering USA made products too. So like one of the differences is it's got a external polymeric type coating versus like a dyed nylon type coating. So that's one difference. USA made, right? In the ISO facility, it's got USA made fibers, right? Some nylon. So just overall listening, right? And then as I've been expanding, I've noticed just from my own use cases, what do I need, right? Because I've had some other brand hitch receivers that were made for D rings, and I was like, man, it's not really made for my soft shackles, right? If the hole's small, it cuts into my soft shackle, it's not beveled. So I think year 2, I was like, hey, like I need to make a soft shackle specific recovery hitch, and that's why I ended up making these. So they've got beveled edges. They're a larger hole, so you can fit a soft shackle, and they have a minimum brake strength of like 60,000 pounds, so just crazy strong. And so that took about a year, right? It took time. So
Did you say when you were testing those you broke some?
yeah, I broke different sizes. So this is a 1.5 inch diameter. I have 1 inch. I mean, I've tested some this size, which is even like a smaller hole. So I was trying to find the right balance between like ease of use and also something strong enough. These are going to be stronger than the recovery hitch loads themselves, anyways. But it just took time, right? Manufacturing, anodizing, everything that I actually offer for sale. I actually get them tested at a local USA facility. So there's a local rigging facility that I actually test the brake strengths at, and I actually get them certified. And whether our products are made overseas or here in the U.S., they're actually tested and certified in the USA. So I hold the same standards. I don't just take my manufacturers overseas that provide me with the ropes and take their testing standards in consideration. I do have them send me a report, but I always tell them, right? I mean, I do batch testing too. So usually when I do get a new batch, I will actually test that one as well because I want to make sure that I'm offering the same quality and I'm held to standards that I'd want to buy something too, right? So I think I've joined other podcasts. So hey, if it's something that I don't want to buy, I don't want to sell it, right? So I do hold myself true to that.
I gotta say
So,
that that receiver hitch that you sell, shameless plug. I bought one before I even knew who the new owner of Spartan Ropes was, and I absolutely love it. It is amazing. It's so much better for running soft shackles than I've almost primarily run soft shackles now.
yeah, so
I wanted to
good.
bring up, so Spartan Rope sponsored me in the past, and I'm going to need you to continue on with that. So, and just I have a photo as proof. As you can see, this is
there you
the
go.
previous owners of Spartan Rope with me. You can see we just did a comp together, and they paid my entry fees. So I'm going to need you to pay all competition entry fees from now on.
Way to spring it on him live. That's a good way to do it because then you can't say no in front of in front of the world.
Make him look horrible to say no. Just cut me
In
out.
front of
No,
our
it's all good,
million.
Aaron. What people don't know are my stipulations for that sponsorship, so that's a whole different story.
Oh yes, I want to know where he has to put the tattoo.
I'm gonna have to compete full time or something.
Rick in the comments is asking if you can put hard D-ring shackles in your receiver.
So I haven't tested it that way. I can tell you that it is strong because when I did test it and how it broke, it was on steel cables because I couldn't get a metal piece small enough to fit into that hitch pin. So it was on steel cables and over 60,000 pounds. It actually didn't break; it just bent a little bit. But I didn't want to, take the extra time to actually break other ones because I think in the end, it's meeting the minimum requirements that I'm offering. So I mean, you can, but I mean, I don't recommend it because that's not what it's designed for. So I mean, and why, right? I feel like almost why, like because
Rick, get with the times.
Because the soft shackle is just much safer, right? And so
yeah.
And Rick, you're getting old. You don't need to carry around those heavy D rings. You just need some of them lightweight soft shackles.
And I mean, so many other people offer D-ring soft shackle receivers, D-ring receivers, right? So it's like.
Here's how much I liked that Spartan rope soft shackle receiver. I bought it immediately, went on a snow wheeling trip, and somebody else on the trip was like, I need one of those. And I said, here you go. And I pulled out my old Factor 55 one for deer rings. And I was like, this is yours now. I immediately gave away my old one within 48 hours of owning that. All right, man. What all products do you sell?
Yeah, so I've got this recovery hitch. I've got a kinetic rope. So the red ropes you see here are made overseas. The yellow rope is made in the USA. I've got USA made soft shackles as well. As the soft shackles
those are long too.
Yep, they are longer and they're skinnier, and it's a different type of design. So if you open this up, it's more of a double loop design. And it's got a higher break strength. So this is a 3/8 inch, and this is a 7/16, but it's just a different design and different fiber you can see. So they both
I can't really see just because of the video quality here, but one thing I've noticed about soft shackles, there's some where the ball on the end is like super tight and is almost spherical, and some feel more like a knot. What is the difference there? Like, I don't see any difference in break strength. Is it a different kind of knot? But it's just like super obvious when you hold two of them.
Yeah, it's just the way that they're manufactured. But I do think like this is the USA made one's a double loop design. The ones made overseas isn't really a double loop design. I can offer them that way. I'm actually doing some other research to offer other ones because I want to improve the products. Some people offer soft shackles with the sleeve. Some people offer them with the woven sleeve externally, right? So I'm actually looking at a few different designs, but yeah, as you can see, right, two different knots here, different size, different materials.
Badlands, we're going to talk about that in just a minute, so hang tight. I think you'll like that.
But yeah, I'm actually working on some new stuff as well. So I know, with all the recent news of kind of the off-road industry, like people are talking about bridles and different things. I also offer a toe strap that I just came out with. So one of the differences with this is this toe strap is 20 foot long, but it's got an 18-foot removable sleeve. So usually when you're towing a vehicle off the mountain, or you're like, it's almost dragging on the ground, right? When it drags on the ground, there's abrasion. It compromises the strength of the rope and the toe strap. So I was like, hey, because everyone can go to Harbor Freight or somewhere else to get one, but how can I make this a little bit better, right? So I broke this. I broke a few of them. They broke a 32 pound minimum braking strength, and they've got just overall good quality. This one's made overseas, but it's got an 18-foot sleeve, right? So that's a little different, and it's not going to break the bank either. So some of the new stuff I'm working on is definitely more towards like because I've noticed when I went with my family to like the beach and just certain areas. What do you do when it's a van or something else that you don't have a recovery point, right? I mean, I'd be very careful about what I'm using it at, but I had to recover my cousin's van that was stuck at the beach, and I actually daisy chained a few soft shackles to get him out, because he didn't have a recovery point, right? So I was like, hey, I need to create like or with folks who don't have recovery hitches and they have a two bumper or something, what can you use? So I was like, you know what, I need to create something else. So right now I'm actually working on the design of a oversized shackle. Oversized soft shackle is going to be like 40 inches long, going to be crazy strong, and it'll be multi-use as well. So
I need you to invent like a soft shackle with the frame keys for, giving a tug to like Subarus and stuff where you have to reach in and key it into the frame.
hmm So I mean, I've had people ask me, right, like, what's next, Nye? Like, are you doing winching? Like, I don't know, like, there's so many things. Like, at the end of the day, I'm a small operation. Everything that I do sell, I do test and I certify in the U.S. I actually use it myself, right? So it's like, you know, I'm not I'm not having a venture capitalist give me like $1 million to do whatever I want, right? That'll be a different story. So I've been growing organically. I've been reinvesting all the investments that I've made. I've reinvested into new products and just listening to my customers. So I'm always open ears. I've talked to people about when winch extensions. And there's just so many different things that you can offer, but for me, it's like there's so many products out there. What can I offer that's a little bit different or a little bit better? So
If you ended up offering
yeah.
one of those synthetic winch lines that has a soft shackle built into the end of it, I will buy one because they look so cool. Absolutely no good reason for me to own one other than I love the way they look.
We'll talk, boy.
Speaking of the U.S. Tested and certified, can you go some more detail into that?
Yeah, so there's a local rigging facility that I go to. They also make things for other big name companies, which I'm not going to name. But what I'll typically do when I offer a new product like this toe strap that I just came out with, um, I'll get a few made. I'll at least break a couple of them. My minimum break strengths are going to be under the break rating that I break them at. Um, I usually create videos. I haven't posted those videos yet, and they have a certification process where once you break it, they print out a slip, right? Because the facility has cages. It is hooked onto, like, we're talking about ropes. It's hooked onto two different eyes. It stretches. The cage blocks the actual rope and nylon from flying everywhere. And then there's a little graph on the top, and there's a graph on the computer that tells you what it breaks at. You can hear it. I usually use a gimbal. I'll put the gimbal on the actual next to the rope that's breaking because I don't want to stand right there. So yeah, I mean, it has to get scheduled. I schedule it. I've tested competitors' products. I test my own products, and I do that. I try to do it once a quarter or once every 6 months, depending on kind of like the orders I have coming in. But that's how it works. I don't know if you had any specifics, Ben, or any other particular questions, but
Can you just like prop up a truck hood, a SUV hood, and stand behind that to be safe in case it breaks? That's what they say, right? You pop your hood, so if your winch line breaks, it protects you.
Just stand behind like a Bronco windshield.
oh,
Speaking of that, Coy,
Speaking of that, we heard through the grapevine that maybe one of your product was involved in a recent incident where a soft shackle broke and a kinetic rope smashed against someone's windshield, and it was a whole online fiasco. You want to shed some light on that?
yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's a secret, and honestly, I didn't go out there and make my way out there to kind of say, hey, these were my products, right? I mean, that's not what I'm all about. At the end of the day, like, I want to respect the privacy of everybody. But yeah, so in that particular incident, that's actually a Spartan kinetic rope that was used on the end that where the soft shackle did not break. That was our USA made soft shackle. On the other end was the Amazon soft shackle. So I think from the owner of the Bronco, what he was mentioning was that the Amazon soft shackle had a few different ratings from different websites or even their own Amazon link. And I think, like I said, I don't want to talk bad about any company. That's not what I'm in the business for. but I think that's one of the differentiators with us is, I mean, we do test and certify our products because we don't want things like that happening. At the end of
It's
the day,
safe to
right? I
say
mean,
yours was stronger than the Amazon one. I think that's a fair statement at this point.
yes, and mine is actually a smaller size than the Amazon one. I think the Amazon was a half inch and mine's a 3/8 inch. So ideally, right, the Amazon one should have been stronger since it was bigger. And also, the rope that I went through the windshield, I believe, is actually it's rated at 33,000 pounds. So I think because I actually reached out to my manufacturers, right, and some of the engineers that worked. I was like, hey, like just kind of want to gather their thoughts because I'm not an industry expert, right? I mean, I will be the first one to admit that, but they are, right? They're the ones that manufacture, they produce, they deal with this stuff all the time. And what he thinks is just, it was just a failure in the cheaper soft shackle that broke, and it actually broke under the rating because ideally, I mean, the rope's rated at 33,000 pounds, but the rope didn't rake. I felt super bad for the customer that happened to. I had, I want to do testing on the rope that went through the windshield, so I actually sent him a new rope, and I took the old one back, and I plan on testing it. It's kind of curious, right? I mean, if it had that much force, how long did it stretch to? What's it going to break at? And just overall, like, when there's impact on the windshield, I wonder if that impacted kind of the eye as well and the strength. So just, I'm just kind of curious. So at the end of the day, I'm happy that the customer is okay. But yeah, so I mean, know if you have additional questions, but
I think that's
when
I think that's a
when
great opportunity to test that rope. I'm glad that you got.
for sure.
I mean, it sucks for the guy who got life flighted because glass cut him. But I'm looking forward to see what happens with where the brake strength is at, because I'm willing to bet it's basically new, like, because I'm sure it was all in that soft
Yeah,
shackle.
yeah, I'm honestly not sure because I do know that he did have a Gen 1 rope, which I know like the Gen 1 rope wasn't as consistent quality, just being fully transparent. But he also used it, I believe he said 40 times or so. So yeah, I am really curious, right? So I am going to break it probably the next couple of months as I'm testing out new products as well. Before I offer those oversized soft shackles and some of the other products I'm working on, I'm going to break them, right? So it's going to be a perfect opportunity to break that rope as well.
Badlands says, didn't we confirm a shear point on the pulling vehicle? I don't know if it was confirmed. It sounded like they had a soft shackle stuck through the D-ring eyelet, so it's too sharp of a bend and possibly sharp edges, but it's kind of could possibly be yes, possibly no, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this scenario, right, it's in the day, it's an unfortunate incident. I mean, no one's gonna 110% know what's going on, right? I mean, there's so many things involved. I mean, I think like even like the the recovery points were bent. There's just so many things involved in that, right? I think the one thing that I got questions were was just like size. I know that I offer only a 1 inch kinetic rope right now. I've been testing 7/8 inch for the last 4 or 5 months now, which I haven't came out to offer yet. Actually, this is the first time I'm talking about it in this podcast right now. But in the end, I think the rope still stretched, right? It wasn't like it didn't stretch at all. It's a little bit big for his vehicle, yes. Could have used a smaller one. I don't know if offering a smaller rope in that instance, I don't think it would have made a difference in terms of it actually breaking. I think the incident still probably would have happened. At the end of the day, I mean, I think the Jeep was just going too fast, right? It's just too much sheer force. So
I know there were some people talking about the rope size, and I mean, maybe this is me telling on myself, but kinetic ropes weren't like readily available for everyday man prices not that long ago, and we all just use toe straps that have absolutely zero give. And
100% polyester static, right?
yeah, and like it sucked. You'd brace yourself. Everybody get ready for the slam. We all pulled each other out with those for the last 40 years until 2012, when suddenly stretchy ropes became a thing, or kinetic ropes became a thing.
Well,
So I don't. If it's a little bit big, it's a little bit stronger. It's the ratings for the pulling vehicle, not the stuck vehicle, the way I understand it. So
Yeah, and I think that, and I mean, like, what if you're the one that's stuck and you have a 1 inch, you have a smaller size rope that's rated for your vehicle, but the guy that wants to pull you is a 1 ton pickup or something, right? I think in that
He's going to
instance,
use the giant rope because you got to use the
yeah,
rope that's rated for the heaviest vehicle.
the assist vehicle, yeah, I mean,
Used, so.
yes.
Hmm.
So I mean, at
Um,
the end of the day, you're not going to probably carry two kinetic ropes either, right? I mean, you're not going to have a 7/8, a smaller one, and a 1 inch, like, so it's yeah. I mean,
Yeah, no, I don't fault the size of the rope in that at all. Obviously, perfect fit would be better, but I mean, I I I can't even remember what size my rope is, but I don't go, "Oh, you have a Suzuki Samurai. Sorry, bro, I can't use my kinetic rope to pull you out. It's too big." Like, no, I just hit them at 90 miles an hour and
Well,
watch them
it was
fly.
Coy. You left out that ARB had the snatch straps that were the flat ones that had some stretch, not much.
Yeah,
And
I
but
know
they were
they
used for
existed, but
like
I
10
didn't
uses.
know anybody who had those. Like
Oh.
before 2010, 2014 in there, like everyone just used the flat toe strap. I'm sure there were
Yeah.
some cool overlandy people, but if regular wheelers 10, 12 years ago,
No,
everyone used toe straps or
you didn't have
or
a
you
purple
use a
snatch strap there? No.
no, I've only had a Bubba. I've not
Oh,
had an ARB stretchy strap.
yeah. But the problem with the ARB ones is they only had like 10 uses, and then they're kind of gone.
Yeah, and I think those snap straps only stretch up to like I don't know, I don't
10%
quote me on it, but
or
I think it's
something
around
like
yeah 10 or 11%. So it's really not that much of a difference. I feel like,
Yeah,
um,
not the 30% that you get from a kinetic rope.
up to 30%. Yeah.
So, do your ropes come with tags that give brake strength and other or not other details?
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see it, but I do have tags on there, and it has a minimum brake strength. It says to not exceed, certain amount of weight. It has a tag label that says it's for vehicles up to this amount of weight. Batch number, so I can keep track of kind of what batch it is.
Hmm.
And so yeah, and then they have, I'm gonna start adding some other labels to them, but like I know my soft shackles, right? It specifically says don't like attach it to a tow ball because that happens quite a bit and it's not
Oh,
good as you guys have
nice,
seen. Um,
nice.
but yeah, I've definitely added and I've refined. Like my USMA one has like some rigging notices and some instructions. So yeah, I mean, those were things that were not on the products when I took over, right? I mean, it was just plain, didn't have any labels, didn't have any tags. I think that's what a lot of people miss is like a lot of those small things they matter. I mean, as people are using the products, they want to understand the ratings, and the tags are all waterproof, so it's just not going to get wet and you can't see anything. Um,
You want to make those tags like really easily torn off because if they're used in any kind of commercial application, as soon as that rating tag is off, the entire strap is bad. I have so many tree straps. Not saying that they get ripped off at work and I take them home, but if I did, I would have a plethora of them.
Yeah, you can't use them in a commercial setting if it doesn't have the information on it.
Yeah.
So it's
So
got to
don't make
get
those
hooked.
too robust. Make sure they come off pretty easily.
Yeah, and I think like it's interesting, right? When you look at ratings and things like that from like the rigging industry, I think like I mentioned, I'm not no expert, but overhead rigging is like 5-to-1 ratio, right?
Yeah.
There's your winch ratio. I think it's like 1 3/4 or something. There's different ratios for different things. I don't know if there's an official here in the U.S. Is there an official off-road rating, right, for certain applications? Because everybody uses the applications differently. So I think in the end, you want it to be stronger than not as strong, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I think that's kind of on the safe side, but also, yeah, I mean, just not going super fast at it on the recovery. So there's so many things that go into it. By no means, like I said, I'm an industry expert. I am working on learning more about those type of things and ratings and rigging and all that. But it's like it's hard, right? It's like my soft shackle recovery hitches. Those things have a minimum brake strength of 60,000 pounds, but your actual towing hitch is going to fail before my product does, right? So So it's
I
like
guarantee my bumper doesn't have 60,000 pounds.
My frame on my truck will probably fail. If the hitch doesn't, the frame will.
My frame would definitely fail. Like it just like rip rust out.
I want everybody to know that as soon as we saw the Bronco video, we tracked down the guy that had the rope, and that's why we brought this interview. That's the kind of stuff we do for you. I mean,
the kind of service we do.
That's the kind of hard hitting news. I mean, we had him scheduled for months. It just happened to work out this way, which made it very interesting. And I'm glad you were willing to talk about it with us.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wasn't gonna publicly market that, hey, you know what, the soft shackle didn't break was mine. Like at the end of the day, it was a bad situation that happened. Glad the customer's okay, but it definitely is a learning opportunity for the whole off-road community, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you want to get products that are rated for it, as well as you don't want to go super fast, right? That's why I'm gonna start adding do not exceed 5 mile per hour labels on mine, right? At the end of the day, because I got to protect myself, got to make sure that everybody's using the rope safely as well. So I think in the end, yeah, it's an unfortunate circumstance, but glad he's okay. And yeah, I'm looking forward to testing the products and the rope that had hit the windshield. So
it definitely added a new level of what to think about when you're doing recoveries with kinetic ropes.
Yeah, and I was actually talking to a buddy about this, right? Because everybody uses winch dampeners at the end of the day, right? It's usually like something that goes over the winch, the wire, or the actual synthetic rope. You weight it, so it does take some of the impact. So I actually was kind of curious. So I had my manufacturer make one of these. It's got reflective materials, you can see here. Next time I go break these, I'm really curious. I'm going to take a few videos if they're actually going to help with the impact at all, right? I'll weight it a little bit with some sand or something kind of safe. But also, it's a kinetic rope, so I mean, it's not a steel winch line, so I don't know if it's overkill. But I'm kind of curious, right? How much impact it's going to take, if it's actually going to make a difference, and if people are interested, I'll offer it, right, at the end of the day. So I just got to test it first. So I don't know if it's overkill, but it's something that I'm testing. I'm working on designing, and we'll see what happens.
It's an interesting idea, and I mean, if it works, that's a viral idea right there. Just to open up the safety of kinetic recoveries.
Build one into the rope if you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been talking to my manufacturers. Everybody's got different opinions, right? So, but I'll try it out. I mean, you never know.
All right. We could probably talk all night because you're an interesting guy and have cool stuff, but we all have families, have to go to bed eventually. So last question, where can our listeners find you?
www.spartanrope.com. On Instagram, it's just Spartan Rope, one word. Facebook is Spartan with a space and rope. You can email me and reach me via email at NAI at spartanrope.com, or sales, SALES, at spartanrope.com. So yeah, you can reach me multiple sources: Instagram, email, Facebook. I'm all ears, so I'll be happy to answer any questions you have and help you get you suitable what you need. So
nice. All right, guys. Speaking of hard-hitting news, next week is all off-road news heavy episode. So be sure to tune in for that.
Don't forget to visit Patriot Patch and join the Patch of the Month Club. Check out our Gaia affiliate link for up to 40% off. Also, don't forget to head over to Warren Colby Valve and 4 Patriots to see all of their great products. We are a proud part of the Firearms Radio Network. Got a question or comment? Send it to us through our Linktree account or by searching for Off-Road Podcast. Also, you can listen to us live at overlandradio.com Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific. When off-road, please remember to have fun, tread lightly, and be safe and courteous. Thanks for listening.
Hey, Nye, are you going to be at the Off-Road Toy Outfitters Mud and Trail Series?
I was actually just talking to Phil about that. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. I mean, I've got that. I've got, I'm in talks about like Overland Rally, Northwest Overland Rally right now, Overland Expo. Talking to local dealers and people who are selling my stuff locally as well about what kind of events they have coming up. So I just got to plan it out. So I'm not sure yet. I haven't given him a yes or a no, but I actually just saw Phil on Sunday as well. So